This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Mapper Forward's first on-demand workshop, How to Become a Coffee Consultant. Available now online for you to learn at your own pace with a certificate available upon completion. Click the link in the show notes to access today for just €50. Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Mapper Forward, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and this is our final episode of our 5-part series with Todd McCarthy from Full Spectrum Roasters. And we are talking in this series about launching a coffee roasting brand. We've covered a lot about that, and now Todd is going to give us his top 5 tips of what you should think about if you're thinking about doing the same thing. So take it away, Todd. What are the 5 tips that you would give people if they were looking at launching a coffee roasting brand?
Yeah, of course. This is just purely from my experience, this might not work for everyone, but I really hope that if there's even one thing in here that applies to you, then you can use it to your advantage. But the biggest thing for me is to find a niche, find something that you're really good at, that a customer segment is really looking for. Whether that be through convenience products, whether it be through only supplying really high-end coffees, or whether it be through being the best dark roaster there is. It's just find that niche, find something that sets you apart from other people. I think that's with the competition that we were talking about earlier. That ties in hand. It's there's really no use doing something that has just it's repetition. It's but just being able to find that really small gap in the market that you are able to excel at, and that's I think my number one.
Yeah. How did you go about finding that niche for Full Spectrum?
Well, it comes down to it. There's sort of a couple of niches. The niche for me was knowing that there is variety. That was my niche.
I love that.
And then being able to offer a really great product for a few different segments. But variety is my niche. So
I love that.
That's for me. So we've got a couple of other things sort of in the pipeline that will really focus on another aspect of variety, whether that be through someone who is looking for purely organic coffees. That's another little niche market. So that isn't happening. But it is.
What's your second tip?
The second tip really is brass tacks, is knowing exactly how much money that you have available to you. And I mean, this rebrand for me has been a real journey, is because at one stage I thought I had all the money, and then I didn't. So that was, at the time I thought, why is this happening to me? Like I feel as if I'm onto something really good, but I feel as if it has just made the brand even stronger, is because I was scrounging. I was scrounging for cash. Yeah. Because I'd counted my eggs. What's the saying? I'd
counted your chickens before they hatched.
Before they hatched.
Yeah.
And the sort of rug was pulled from under my feet, and I was too far into the process and too far into this project to have to turn back. So I gathered all of my resources, and I had to really do anything that I could to get it over the line.
And you did. And I just want to stop you there for a second. As a friend who got to watch you go through that, it was incredibly inspiring to watch you be squeezed the way that you were, and for you to hold the grace that you did and the respect for yourself that you did, by not just abandoning the project, but also not being delusional. Like, there are a lot of people who talk a lot of shit when something like that happens. And mate, you weren't one of them.
There was a very small part of delusion that was involved there, but I think it's another really important point is to know when it's too much. You know, there's been a couple of parts of full spectrum that I've had to really wind back and just put a hold on because of what had happened. You know, but don't let that discourage you. Really know exactly why you're doing this, and if you can convince yourself, sure, this is exactly why I'm doing it. You have the passion, you have the perseverance, but go for it. You know, jump in there because no one else is going to do it, and that's
and something that I need to add to that is make sure that you have people around you that can have the conversation with you that will ground you or will elevate you as necessary. So if your head is in the clouds and you need to be brought back down to earth, have the right people around you that know when that's appropriate, and make sure that they know when that they can see that you're probably beating up too much on yourself and you need to be propped up a little bit extra. Because it's in moments like that you're not able to see the options that are ahead of you if you don't have the people around you that can do that.
Of course.
Would you agree?
Well, I'm incredibly lucky is because I have my people, you know, and if you don't, I can be your person, you know, like I even if I don't, you know, I'm sure I'll be there for support, you know, it's because I know how much I lent on my people during this last 12 months. And they're the people who I owe my successes to, you know. That there's only so much that I can do, but then I know that there's so much more that needs to be done. And there's the people and the support network around me that enable this to happen. So part of that is find your people, find your support network.
Yeah, and I just want to say, folks, the one way to spot somebody who's never built anything is they're the person who's talking shit about people who are building things. Because somebody who talks shit about anybody who's struggling or failing or going through challenging times, you can bet the house on it that they have not experienced what it is to lose anything. And run fast and run far. Because after Todd, after what you've gone through, can you imagine looking at somebody who's struggling, no matter what you think of them? But don't you have a whole different kind of empathy for that experience now?
A whole new level.
Yeah.
But if you find yourself in a position that you're not quite sure why you're doing it, trust your gut. And that's another thing. Trust your guts. Trust your instinct.
Totally. What's the third tip that you'd give people?
The third was just something that we've already touched on. It's just understanding your consumer, you know. And once you understand your consumer, then you have a much better idea on how you can acquire business from them. So whether that be through a network of cafe partners, for instance, if you want to go down that path, know that they're your people, you know. But for instance, my main jam, my people, my crew, who I hope to really share full spectrum with, are home brewers who really value quality, you know. And it's the economic state of the world at the moment. I mean, people are unfortunately moving away from the traditional, I'm going to go to the cafe, I'm going to have 1 or 2 cups of coffee in the morning before I go to work. I've witnessed firsthand that's really slowing up. So my consumer, I now understand that their hip pocket is really hurting. So that's why I want to be able to provide the best coffee experience for their home as what I possibly can. But then also being able to offer the education and the encouragement for them to be able to really take a step out of their comfort zone and start brewing coffees at home, because it's incredibly rewarding.
Yep. And a big part of that, folks, is customer acquisition planning. Understanding how you're going to, not only who the consumer is, but then how you're going to convert them into a customer, and having a plan, a marketing plan for that. And Todd has done that really, really well. What's your fourth one? The fourth for me would be just creating different income streams. So for instance, if
you have noticed that there is a slowdown in retail bean sales, for instance. Then you can look at something like a convenience product like a coffee drip bag, or whether you want to go down the pod path, or just creating different channels that people are able to, or different sales funnels, I guess. But on top of that, a big part of what Full Spectrum does is also contract roasting. So we roast coffees on behalf of other people. So if I notice that there is that the retail side of things isn't performing as what it was this time 12 months ago, then I can sort of lean into other areas of the business, whether that be through contract roasting, whether it be through education, whether it be through consultation, whether it be through there's a number of things you can come up with, but it's identifying different streams to be able to prop one part of the business up if it's not performing as how it should be, and then it would then level out how the year is looking for you.
I love that. And what's the final one?
Is knowledge of your supply chain.
How has that changed things for you?
Well, I think a big thing for me is just knowing whose values align with your own, I've always had the thought that every single coffee in the world has a purpose, But whether are you geared towards the specialty market? Are you geared towards the commercial market? But what I mean by whose values align is if someone who is only ever selling commercial coffee, but they are starting to, pitch it as a specialty product. It's just little tricks like that. It's the deception. Is a thing that I've seen, unfortunately, quite a bit, especially from the green perspective.
Has it changed how you want to be a supplier?
A supplier of coffee products?
Yeah.
Well, not really, because I've done the hard work. I've filtered through the people, so you don't have to experience it.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful thing to hear, because there's so much wizardry and fuckery out there. That the more people that we can have in the industry that are values driven, but also profit and business focused, that are looking to deliver a really great product, is just a music to my ears.
Yeah. But you're really just maintaining consistent supply through those channels is the most important thing. So your knowledge of the coffee supply chain will help you immensely, for sure.
Yeah, amazing. Todd, this has been a dream. Thanks for a really great series.
It's my pleasure, mate. It's been great fun.
Tell people where they can find Full Spectrum online.
Okay, you can find Full Spectrum at www.fullspectrum.coffee. I'm not yet shipping worldwide, but I'm only 4 days in. Give me another 4 days and I probably will be.
And on Instagram?
Instagram is also fullspectrum.coffee. Facebook is also fullspectrum.coffee. YouTube, Twitter to follow, but fullspectrum.coffee.
Yeah, fantastic. And where are you located?
We are located in Coffs Harbour, regional New South Wales, on the east coast of Australia. We're in paradise.
Yeah, man. Look at the view behind you. Yeah. Todd, this has been fantastic. I can't wait for my coffee to arrive. And I'll be sending all the gifts that I give this year are going to be Full Spectrum. So I pick a roaster every year and that's the gift. And this year it's Full Spectrum. So if you're one of my people, look out for the gift that you get this year from Full Spectrum. Will you do me the honor, sir, of signing off this series?
Thank you very much for everyone. Peace, love and peanut butter. And we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for tuning in, friends. There are 2 ways you can support this podcast. Firstly, become a paid member of our YouTube channel. Secondly, you can join our Patreon for as little as $3 a month. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video before you leave, and check the show notes for more information. Now, this is what you should check out next.